Hey guys, what's going on? This is John Base, and I'm here to bring you another Warcraft speculation / Warcraft discussion video. Today, we're going to kind of expand on another one of the topics that Solso Breezy and I discussed on our stream on Wednesday, June 27th. And this one is kind of bringing into the Garrosh did nothing wrong topic. It's my rendition on it, and of course, I'm not saying the guy did nothing wrong, but maybe not quite as much as, Blizzard had portrayed. First, let's get into a little bit into Orcish political history. First of all, during their reign on Draenor, the Orc community was very war-centric. There was a set of 6 or 7 clans, and they all just kind of duked it out and battled consistently until they found one who was, the top tribal leader, the top warrior clan. The problem was, because they were so war-centric and they were spent all their time battling, they found themselves unable to continue in with general political progression. Now, to continue on, the Orcish horde led under Grom Hellscream, drank the blood of Mag Theridon, which then led into the events of the First, Second, and Third War. Now let's fast forward a little bit to the Burning Crusade. During the Burning Crusade, Garrosh Hellscream was an NPC found in Nagrand. Thrall approached Garrosh and kind of fluffed up his father's past and made him feel proud of it, whereas previously, with his family based as Orcish culture is, Garrosh was really ashamed of what his father had done. Thrall made it seem like it wasn't so bad, like, hey, your dad was a pretty good guy. He was kind of the reason that the Orcish horde has even gotten to where they are today. So Garrosh, then changing his opinion about where his father's place in history stands, decided to embrace it and be proud of it, and then led the Warsong offensive through Northrend, being a major quest giver all throughout Northrend, and even being the one who provides the ICC buff and leads the horde's offensive into ICC to defeat the Lich King. Let's fast forward to the events of the Cataclysm. After Deathwing had ascended from Deepholm and destroyed the world, left it with a massive scar, Thrall had to run off to go be Green Pickle Jesus, and he needed to appoint a new war chief. Garrosh, being the most liked by the Orcs specifically, of course being the most abundant race of the Horde, was the immediate first assignment. Now, this gets into my first point where I don't feel like Garrosh did as much wrong as people think. Okay, Thrall just appointed the dude. He was a war general, which is what he's noted as being good at. He's a killer war strategist. That's the point. He's very cutthroat, to the point, gets the job done, and that's all there is to it. Thrall didn't give him any kind of guidance. He didn't give him any kind of leadership whatsoever. I mean, that's not even a question. He just kind of dropped him in the position and ran away to go do his shaman shit. Okay? After Thrall left Garrosh, some rather sketchy things happened. I mean, Miss Grim Totem poisoned his weapon during his duel with Cairn Bloodhoof, killing him in the interim with an uncurable poison that was, of course, like I said, doused on his weapon without his knowledge. That already made him look bad, because he then, kind of broke the laws of the Makara by using an unknown poison that was also incurable. Then the events of Theramore happened, which also kind of brings back into my Gallywix theory, which is a video that pretty much all of you have seen, getting the point across that the goblins will be involved in any crime of war, as long as there's enough profit in it. He did this, which, like I said, isn't okay at all. It's not okay at all to, bomb a city full of innocent men, women, and children. It's not even, a military hub. It's a city in itself. He did that kind of in the same way that Sylvanas went into Teldrassil, took out a couple of villages just to take out Malfurion so that she could control Kalimdor and control the Azerite flow with as little blood spill possible. To have as little of a conflict as possible so that they'll lose morale, give up, and retreat, which is kind of the same achievement that Garrosh was trying to pull. To look forward a little bit, past this point, Garrosh got more and more strict on his idealism that the orcs were the only way of the Horde, which again, like I said, looking back on orcish politics, is pretty expected, that the orcs are the master, that the orcs are the master race, that they're kind of, top dogs around. When of course, Garrosh had his mongrel horde, the idea was that Garrosh wanted a faction of people who would follow him without a question. Of course, General Nazgrim being one of those people, as he became a raid boss that we fight during the Siege of Orgrimmar. After all these events had transpired, after the Horde and Alliance both turned on him during the end of Mists of Pandaria, Garrosh found no other option other than to find enough power to defeat his foes, then consuming the heart of Y'Shaarj, which then brought us into the events of Siege of Orgrimmar. Nazgrim, having been, Garrosh's primary general during this entire conflict, found himself really at a crossroads of who he was going to follow. Was he going to be loyal, and was he going to be honorable to his war chief and the one that he pledged his allegiance to, or was he going to defect and become a part of the resistance? Now, General Nazgrim, as a orcish horde quest giver, all throughout most of Classic, BC, Wrath, Kata, so many expansions over, the Horde became well known to him, so it was kind of sad the way that we interacted with him during Siege of Orgrimmar, as, he said that we were a worthy opponent, and that after all the years of working alongside us, that he was glad that we were the ones who took his life, that it was an honorable death. That was a little sad in its own merits, as Garrosh did seem a little bit power hungry, but seemingly for the right reasons. All he did was for the Horde, for the survival of the orcs, and for the survival of the Horde that he wanted to lead. Now let's get to my primary point. During Garrosh's trial in the events of Warlords of Draenor, he challenged Thrall to a Mak'gora. Now, as far as I'm aware, the laws of the Mak'gora are pretty sacred. They consist of no use of magic, one weapon, no body armor. Not only did Thrall have on body armor, but he also had magic on his side. I understand that he uses a magic weapon as the Doomhammer, but that doesn't excuse the fact that he used the elements to not only bind Garrosh down, but smash him with lava and lightning at the same time. Of course that's going to be a killing blow. That's a cheap shot. Garrosh is just a warrior. He doesn't have access to the, elemental magic like Thrall does. That just doesn't seem fair. And during this battle, Thrall made some really good points. He said, "You made me who I am. You dropped me in this position and gave me no guidance." I don't know. By my opinion, I feel as though Thrall kind of screwed him. Garrosh led the Horde as an orc would lead the Horde. He did his job pretty much exactly as could be expected from a Mag'har orc, the exact way that it would have been led on Draenor. The only way that he knew, which was the entire problem of Thrall leaving him without any guidance, because Thrall had understood and learned the way of the new Horde. Garrosh hadn't. He only knew the way that the Horde ran on Draenor before the invasion of Azeroth, before the consumption of Magtheridon's blood. This is just a little bit of soup for thought. It's more of a, not even necessarily Garrosh did nothing wrong. I don't even know if I put that correctly in the title, but it's kind of my ideas on maybe Garrosh isn't quite as guilty as everybody put it. Maybe he was worth keeping alive. I feel like, in a bit of a disturbing sense, maybe Thrall might have accepted the Mak'gora to give an opportunity to execute him, as though to cover up his mistakes. I'm afraid that if Thrall gets the opportunity to, if he has a kid or something like that, or if he ends up having to appoint another war chief, if Sylvanas dies or something along those lines, or she goes missing, that he might even admit the fact that he did wrong and state the fact that he doesn't want to make the same mistakes that he did with Garrosh, which then would just kind of confirm this whole theory that Thrall pushed for the execution of Garrosh just to cover up his own mistakes. It's always a possibility. Anything's a possibility in the World of Warcraft. Alright everybody, if you made it to the end of this video, first of all, I just wanted to thank you very much, because I understand that it's still a little bit rambly and still kind of kind of chatty. I'm trying to get used to the entire, free discussion, free speech, extemporaneous concept for my YouTube videos. I'm kind of used to scripting. You've all been giving me really helpful feedback, and I hope that it's been showing video by video. Now, as always, thanks so much for watching. If you like my content, go ahead and leave a like. If you support what I'm all about, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for instant channel updates. The link will be in the description down below. As always, and most important of all, leave a comment down below with all your thoughts and opinions on what I have to say. Community is everything to me, guys. Be safe and have fun.